Greetings. Send you all some warm, positive vibrations. This is Body Culinary. And today I'm coming on here just to talk about water washing if you have really, really fine hair. I actually have really fine hair. Some people will call it 4C, so-called 4C. I think that's a little limiting, but it's definitely fine, carpy hair. And I literally just washed it with water. So it's really, really fine and they're all flat. It's only about 33 locks. It's not a whole lot of locks. So my hair is very, very fine. So I found that it's been decades that I've been in a return to natural. And right now I'm trying locks on for size. I didn't choose for my hair to lock. It locked while I was traveling and I decided I've tried everything else. So I'm just going to go along for the ride. So I washed it. Just finished washing a few minutes ago, so it's still very, very wet and it's drying very quickly because there is absolutely no products in my hair. So just a note, it may be helpful. I'm using cotton towels. I think it's very helpful to use black towels or dark colored towels to avoid lint. I don't have any oil, so I don't have uh, a bunch of oil and butter to draw and attract lint to my hair. So that's great. So, but it dries really, actually really, really fast. So it's fine. They're all flat. And I just washed it with water. So this is still a journey. This is mature. These used to be thick, fluffy, double strand twists. So if you have fine hair, this is kind of what you can look forward to. This is most of my hair, right? Not even a Congonati. So, and they're combined. Some of them are 2 or 4 locks. So my hair is really, really, really fine. This is actually going to break off, right? So all this for over handling your hair. A couple of things I just wanted to point out today. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm Body Culinary. I'm a professional chef, personal trainer, natural born woman. Shout out to you, whatever your expression is, and a lover of a natural lifestyle, or as close as I can get to it in these times we are living in. And on this channel, I love to share some of my journey of radical self-acceptance, just not fighting what I have on my head, what I've been divinely assigned. I'm going along for the ride to see what it does. In this phase, I've done double strand twists, short peach fuzz cut, flat twists, and I usually have found styles that work for my hair. And most of the tutorials that I've ever tried never look the same because my hair is not very dense and it's not very thick. And just saying, this is what it is. So I'm into radical self-acceptance. And on this channel, I also love to encourage 3 lifestyle practices, which I found we all have access to, right? That's peaceful consumption. For me, what that looks like is a consumption pattern focused around whole, fresh, unprocessed foods, fruits, whole fruits, vegetables, seeds, untoasted, legumes, sprouted legumes, I prefer, sprouts, fresh ground herbs, and spices. So it's been a journey for me of several decades. And so rather than be, labels for me are just distinctions. You'll have to find your own sweet spot. I'm not interested in dieting. I like to take a lot of stuff off the table so that's covered so I don't have to think about it anymore. So peaceful consumption. I love to encourage folks to start a garden because it's so therapeutic. It's food security and it has so many other wonderful things wrapped into one. It's a big source of stress relief. And then there's your personal movement practice. It's one of the most powerful things that I do for myself. It has given me the most leverage thus far. And I know that I'm racking up for my 401k of my body, for my vitality and my longevity. So that's a huge investment. I'm reaping the benefits of habits that I've had over the years. So that's what I like to encourage on this channel. So if you're interested in this kind of content, if you like, you're welcome to subscribe or perhaps share this content with someone that may have had a lot of acne, because I've had loads of acne and hyperpigmentation. So I feel blessed to not have to wear makeup. If it's an option, if I want to plane it, I can, but I really like to feel my own skin and I love an active lifestyle. So I just really don't find it convenient to be sweating in the garden, riding on the bicycle, and stuff is running down my face. That doesn't feel comfortable to me. And I prioritize comfort over everything. So if you're interested in this kind of content, feel free to replay it. I'm big on creating support for myself. So a good use I found of YouTube is to replay these kinds of videos or relaxation videos while you're cutting up vegetables, while you're decluttering, or while you are stretching. It's a wonderful way to use this channel. So anywho, my hair is still wet, and it's actually going to shrink. So it does have shrinkage. There's no oil, there's no butter, so I don't have to worry about grease running down onto my neck or into my forehead, especially as someone has had a lot of acne. So it feels very free. I have found this is the most excellent that my scalp has ever felt with no products. And so just now, it's on rare occasion I would use shampoo because it's really a journey of feeling your hair. We're like, oh, we panic about it being dry. So I like to make the distinction of dry in terms of not wet, not oily. However, it's not, my hair is very soft and it's not brittle. And now I even think like, wow, all that time I never needed conditioner. I never needed it. So I wish I had known this years ago. I like to call this freedom hair and also Afrolocs. Shout out to you, whatever you are, if you have locks. I really like to acknowledge this unique DNA marker because it's something different. Also, someone with very fine hair, it behaves differently. It's usually a point of frustration for many women of Afro descent. For many of us, Afro flowers. So there may be some folks from other persuasions or other ethnic groups that also have fine hair. So we have some different distinctions. So my 33 locks, they are all flat. They are flat like carpet. And I have actually, this is something I find when I look on YouTube, maybe there's one or two other channels. There's actually one channel I've seen, oh, I can't think of a name right now, that celebrates flat locks. But usually everybody's trying to get away from flat locks. And I have found, when I say radical self-acceptance, I mean, it's like, this is what it is. Initially, I was like, wow, what is it going to look like? So this one maybe is not so flat, but most of them are all pretty flat. And if you think about it, if you lay on your head, it's cotton, it's going to flat. Like, you got to pick your Aphrodite, it's flat on one side. So our hair is going to get flat. So I'm like, it's just a lot of mental energy to be fighting what already is, right? So it's going to grow back out. This is the color, this is the texture. There's one subscriber that asked me about hair that grows away from the lock. So my hair grows away from the lock, but I have found in just being patient and sitting with the process that, and to answer her question, which I've mentioned in a couple of videos, maybe she hasn't seen it. When my hair grows away from the lock, all I do is take a little piece of it and take my finger and just push it in like that. So I'm really into minimalist. I'm just not feeling taking a whole lot of time with my hair, unless I felt like playing or curling it up. I want to be comfortable. I want to be able to jump from one activity to the other. I want to lay on the floor on my yoga mat. I don't want to be preoccupied with hair. So I've freed up a lot of resources and time. I really think women, and especially Afro women, we got a lot more stuff that we could be doing with our time. The garden, your personal movement practice, and traveling, and just relaxation is so important. So I just washed it. It's drying as I sit here now. So I really don't worry about mildew and stuff like that. I'm watchful. I'm always paying attention. But it dries very quickly. It does stick together. So someone recently asked me about separating locks. I don't sweat it too much. It pulls apart easily. So my hair will join together very easily, even though it's only 33 locks and it's very soft and delicate. It will join together. So at this point, I don't really sweat it. Sometimes I may put tea. Recently, I've been using, I use different teas from the yard. I've been using sage and jasmine black tea just to moisturize. And as it dries, you'll see it has like a sandy brown color. I have a few, yes, I do. Somebody said you don't have grays. I have a few grays. And for me, for me psychologically, and everyone is different on their path. To me, it just seems like it's psychologically, it's too cumbersome. It's too much stressor, that's pressure and stress at the same time. It's too much pressure and stress for me to just be freaking out. Now we'll see what happens when it's white, but I'm just not a chemical person, and I just can't see putting all kinds of harmful chemicals right next to my brain, right? My control center. So I'm just interested in being carefree. From a very, very young woman, I've always had this thing of looking for women that were really living their best lives in their 50s, 60s, 70s. I did that even in my teens and in my 20s for some reason. Essence always has had a layout of women that look great for their age, all the way up into like your 90s and 100s. So for some reason, my eyes have always been peeled to see like who is living their best life. And I want to feel free and relaxed in my body. So that's why I've taken a lot off the table, and I'm not really sweating this here. It's all flat. It's only 33 of them. I don't often get to see what they look like, so it's still dripping a little bit on the end. Using a black towel, so I don't see a bunch of lint. So this is what it's looking like in the back. All right. So if I was twisting this, you would be seeing my whole scalp. And for those women that may be concerned with thinning, alopecia, traction alopecia, which a lot of that is, there's some things that we're doing where we're actually pulling our hair and damaging our hair and our follicles, especially if you have very fine hair, from over tweezing, just being too rough and trying to get a look, which can often start to, sometimes it can make our faces look harsh and artificial. So I like to think that I have retrained purposefully and intentionally, greetings, I have intentionally retrained my eyes to appreciate my eyebrows. Like my eyebrows don't fully grow back right here where I tweeze them. And when I had my hair braided too tight, you know, I was on my way to Miami, somebody braided my hair too tight, it doesn't fully grow back here. I'm like, this is self-inflicted damage. And I remember cutting those braids out that were too tight. I was like, never, I'm never getting braids again. I was so turned off. It was enough already with my ears getting burned from singed with like a scalding hot iron. That is dangerous. Got burned on my ears, had scabs all over my scalp from a lie, which was a lie. No lie relaxer. That was a doggone lie. Right. So it's like, I'm really with stop the madness. Stop the madness. When it comes to intake, when it comes to food, if I don't eat substances, and I was a greedy individual, I was a food addict, a junk food junkie. If I don't eat substances masquerading as food, then I don't have to work like a demon to get it off. Whole fresh living foods behaves totally different in my body than processed foods. And that is a fact. Greetings, Queen Ron. Greetings, Soul Liberation. So it's a simple, natural lifestyle. I find it very pleasant. I find it fun. I find I've freed up, not just physically, but I've freed up so much mental space. And I don't know about you. I think we could stand a lot of relaxation. It just, it seems like we're just walking around, just triggering each other, bouncing off each other, ripping each other to shreds, which makes no sense. Sometimes strangers on the internet, you know. So I feel like the anxiety around being chosen, or the anxiety around poor life choices, it has us doing all different kinds of things to ourselves that make not one iota of sense. So it would seem to make more sense to me to focus, and this is just me, one woman's experience, not necessarily the truth, to prioritize health and confidence over beauty. I submit, I'm not trying to keep up with some people in the boardroom and whoever's on the runway. You know, I don't need people in my psyche, my panties, and my pocketbook. It's a bit much for me. So I submit. Take it off the table. You don't have to think I'm attractive. I'm focusing on health and confidence. And that is a state of being that radiates. It feels good. It feels good in a different way. I just happened to watch a woman getting a makeover. You know how you see these transformation makeovers on YouTube? Some of it is mind-blowing artistry. And it was a much older woman, a senior woman, a vanilla woman, and she had a picture of Kim Kardashian. Now, she looked like she could have been in her late 60s or 70s, right? And she had a picture of Kim Kardashian, and then a makeup artist proceeded to give her the Kim Kardashian look. And again, let me say, I do like makeup. I do. I can appreciate makeup. It's just, it doesn't feel good, and it doesn't go with my lifestyle. I don't find it convenient. Maybe one day I'll play in it. So let me just say that right there. I do like some makeup. When I see Angela Bassett or certain, you know, different Afro women, light skin, dark skin, all different shades, I can appreciate it and I like it. When it starts looking too harsh, like there used to be a cartoon called Bullwinkle. I don't know if any of y'all remember Bullwinkle. and it was like a villain on the show, and he looked like he had a permanent frown. Like that's why I said retrain my eyes. Sometimes it looks so harsh. It looks so artificial. It's just it looks so extreme. It looks so unnatural. So that particular aesthetic, it doesn't appeal to me. So maybe perhaps this my eyes are different, and I've been very intentional around. I brush my eyebrows up and smooth them over with some water, aloe, or some shea butter, and that's it. I'm just happy they came back for me over tweezing them. Anyway, so I'm watching this senior woman get a makeover, Kim Kardashian, and this guy is painting and painting. It's so many layers. Like that, I find a bitch is kind of stressful, right? And then they did a before and after, and for me to put on that many layers of makeup, right? It's costume. I've worked with dance companies and apprentice in a dance company. So I do get when you're on camera or on stage, there's stage makeup, right? Your eyes have to pop and colors have to pop and there's stage lighting, right? But to put all of this stuff on, and then if she's already not feeling very confident and in her 70s, she's wanting to look like Kim Kardashian. Again, I'm not here to make anybody bad or wrong, but somehow it doesn't feel right. And I just asked this question. Y'all can let me know. Can't we embrace aging? Can't we? You know, again, I've looked for years for these women that look good for their age. I see some of the vanilla women too. There's this model named Yasmina. I've seen black and white. So stunning, so regal, so simple and elegant. It's like I find it extremely appealing and attractive. Let's not get it twisted. We complain about the men, but it's a mosquito in here. It's also women. We're passing judgment constantly, kind of harsh judgment on other women. Like somebody comes in the room, ooh, look at her, what she got. Mm-mm. Somebody should have told her to do her hair. You know, it's not just coming from men, it's also coming from us. And I wonder if we ever stop just in our quiet moments for ourselves, just in our quiet moments to examine, because this is a pop culture, a popular culture phenomenon. Like it feels mob-like, gang-like, very groupthink, where we're just following everybody else or maybe downing somebody for validation. You know, or just when we may be projecting some of our insecurities onto strangers or other people or other women. It's you know, you can let me know what you think, but it's coming from somewhere because these are people that we don't stream got a little interrupted over here, you know, in Central America. So I was just thinking, you know, and watching this woman, and this guy was painting and painting. It was so many layers of paint. And in between, she would stop and look at the mirror and then put the picture back up of Kim Kardashian. And I was just like, is it just me? I'm thinking like, when I'm in my 70s, right? When I'm in my 70s, am I going to be trying to, it's highly unlikely that I'll be trying to compare myself to somebody in their 30s. I don't know if she's in her 30s. And then compare myself to someone who publicly has had so much plastic surgery. Something is off. And it's almost like we're shamed if you say that, you know, you don't go with the popular aesthetic. And it's not making it bad or wrong. We have choices, right? We have choices for how we want to represent and how we want to express. However, I just find it mentally and even physically stressful. I'm not down for adding more stress. It is the opposite of relaxation. And I found relaxation gives us access to change. It gives us access to awareness of our habits and mindless habits. Awareness. We can't have, we talk these feel good, astrology, all this stuff. We can't have awareness without some degree of relaxation. So I was thinking, like, if that was me, I would have such a letdown, and I would feel a lot of low esteem once I took all those layers of paint off. First of all, I've got to go through, you know, how many wipes, how much olive oil, coconut oil I've got to go through to take off the lashes. I got to take off so much stuff that's not me. To me, that would leave me feeling worse, because it's like, can I relax without the mask? It's like I'm not wanted. So I put on this whole production, and people are excited and happy to see me and give me compliments because of the mask that I take on. But once I go home, I have to take off the mask. Again, this is not to demonize makeup. Maybe you have a different experience, but it was a whole long process to put that on. I'm sorry, not sorry. I'm not doing it. I might get some mascara or maybe some eyeliner, maybe some cocoa, but that's about it. Maybe a little glitter every night. But I cannot see myself taking an hour and an hour and a half. It doesn't feel good to me. Queen Ryan said, just let me not letting social media get into my head. Yeah, because social media, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, is really getting into our heads, and it is having a distinct, you can actually look it up to look at the studies that are being done on how social media is affecting children, how what's built into social media is a constant comparison, which makes us feel like crap a lot of times. And it's almost like on automatic pilot. We're not even noticing the magnitude of this comparison can paralyze you into inactivity, or have you feeling that your strivings and what you're doing is not good enough. So this is one of the reasons why I embrace radical self-acceptance. And in washing this fine here, I get to see exactly how it's behaving, you know, and it's nothing like feeling free and relaxed, feeling relaxed in your own skin. And I just wanted to let me know. I would love to hear from you folks that come through this channel. How do you feel about quote unquote aging, right? The body, even with the best care, is going to age. How do you feel about aging? Do you do anything do you make intentional investments into being able to move over the long haul and to be pain free? And are you cognizant of the health care of your brain and of your internal organs? I know we're mostly concerned about the skin and about the muscles. Do you make a conscious effort to make investments into your vitality, your longevity, your energy level? Are you into preserving, or are we just covering up? I know a lot of times we say enhancing, but it appears like it appears that we're doing now sometimes more of a cover up, which can often mask health issues, health concerns, and it can also kind of mute out the urgency of taking care of our health, right? Because once we see, and again, it's not make bad on just one woman's perspective. If it doesn't resonate, please leave it right here, toss it in the garbage, or you can comment respectfully. But if we're so complacent with the outfit and our eyes are trained to the outfit, then is it possible that all the the massive investment in the cover up lends itself to our becoming complacent when it comes to making urgent investments and consistent investments in our health. Currently, transition to eating better is hard, but I'm taking one day at a time and doing it for my children. I hear you. I say, you know what? Do it more so for yourself, because they're gonna grow up and they're gonna leave. And it's for our children, but it's also us. Like, I was a junk food junkie. Candy bars, oh, barbecue potato chips, oh, health junk, cheap junk, high-end junk. Like, I was a junk food junkie. And education, I would definitely say education has helped me a lot get clear. So even though my taste buds were still addicted, getting really clear and seeing atherosclerosis and clogged arteries, what those surgeries look like, working in a holistic health center and seeing all the people that came in and the different complaints they were coming in with, seeing someone that was very wealthy, and seeing numerous wealthy people that never made investments in their health. And then, it came up and bit everybody in the backside. And definitely as women, when you wrap your mind around, we need our bodies to be able to perform. We need to be able to run, jump, push, to be pain-free. If we don't make these investments, the clothes all go in the garbage. But we don't, you want to be, or I would think we want to be independent as long as possible, and to have our cognitive skills as long as possible, to be independently thinking, and to have to take pills, to take like a myriad 10, 20, 13 pills and vitamin supplements. It just, I don't know, call me simple, but it doesn't seem to make sense to me to go to Walmart or to a discount store and get all these, sometimes at a discount, old vitamin pills, which doesn't have any living water, doesn't have any vitality, doesn't have any life force, and then usually it's synthetic, as if we're outsmarting the body. So unless we have been diagnosed with a deficiency, and if we need all of these pills, that seems to speak to the fact that our consumption patterns are deficient, and or we're eating lots of devitalized food. So without me even putting a label on it, if we were eating, right? So just go with me here. Maybe it's just the way I think. If the food, right, most of our body is water, and we're spending all this money on Lancome and La Mer. Like, I've had friends spend hundreds of dollars on a jar of cream, but we're eating lots of salt and food that has been processed to the point where, and this, someone got upset with me when I called it recreational eating, and I really enjoy eating. However, it's purely recreational, and all the value mostly is just in the mouth feel and the mouth experience, right? And also in the using food to calm us and to pacify ourselves. But by the time it gets to the cells like, this is nothing really here. This is not quality. There's no life force. The cells know the difference. My body responds to whole, fresh, unprocessed foods and movement. It's that simple. And we're paying so much money sometimes for people to tell us good things about our less than ideal habits, or things that in our quiet moments, without making ourselves bad or wrong, we can intuitively, we know there are lots of habits that we have that are not ideal, that don't support vitality, longevity. We're eating lots of clogging foods that are highly flavored. Sugar, salt, fat, sugar, salt, fat, sugar, salt, fat, sugar, salt, fat, sugar, salt, fat. Processed sugar, salt, fat, sugar, salt, fat, sugar, salt, fat. So then we can't even appreciate the taste. So, and this is my humble observation, a lot of what we're speaking to when it's hard, we're speaking to addiction. It's a lot of addiction. So the eyes are addicted, and now the taste buds are addicted. A lot of us are chemically addicted to cigarettes, substances to get high, alcohol. I was having this conversation with some of my folks. What is the point where social drinking tips over into alcoholism? And if we just observe patterns, folks who have experienced a lot of trauma, is kind of like a setup to give somebody that's experienced a lot of trauma and has a lot of unresolved trauma to put alcohol, cigarettes, and substances in their hand. That's a setup. That's a setup. So once you really can understand yourself and what it is that you're working with, at least, even if you have addicted taste buds, from there you can make a logical decision and wrap your mind around what you need to do. And then you can try different things, on for size, so we're eating good for our children, but also, and I'll just say as a woman, as a mother, our children can pick up on if we hate the food, or if we're having a miserable time. So eating well, it actually can be fun. It's just a learning curve, right? And if you're used to barbecue potato chips, if you're used to lots of sauces and fried foods and lots of oil and lots of starch, that is a transition. However, there's so much information out here. It doesn't have to take you 10, 20 years to transition to eating whole, fresh, natural foods. And if you just know your waistline will respond when we're not putting a lot of waste on waste, right? When you're eating real food, right? I'm not even talking about diet. Your body, your cells know the difference between a potato, a white potato, a sweet potato, and a potato chip. That's like, if we really think about it, I was a potato chip addict. It's just a crunch and it's lots of flavor and digging our finger in to lick all the seasoning out of the bag. But you're not going to get full because it's not real food. The water's gone. Most of the vitamin C is gone. I remember when I was going to school to be a nutritionist, and I was like, I don't want to work for Nestle and these companies to do nutrition facts, because I was like, this is a crock of crap. This is not real. If there's anything left in it. So if we just look at results, even if we're not a PhD, look around. You see teeming health everywhere from our habits. It's mostly recreational. If you disagree, that's okay. I'm just saying that, having worked in a holistic health center, working as a personal trainer, a lot of our socially acceptable habits are highly addictive. And right now we're in a space of even more turned up, I call it triggeration. We're constantly being triggered, and our main vein, that subconscious, is being tapped. It's constantly being tapped. Fear of poverty, fear of old age, fear of death, fear of criticism, fear of loss of love, or never finding love. These are primal human fears, and it's being triggered all the time. So once you can wrap your mind around it and get clear, you can make a decision. Everything starts with one decision, right? And taking immediate action towards a goal, right? Even if your endeavors aren't perfect, if you do something, now you can compare and contrast, and you can see where you need to improve. But just sitting and obsessing, which is rumination, obsessing without ever getting into action, not even on the field, on the sidelines, popping popcorn and yelling at the players, but we're not even on the field. So some type of movement practice, right? And actually, we're missing out because these are practices that we have access to. Peaceful consumption, real simple. Food that loves you back. Food that loves your cells back. Food that loves your organs. It's not dumping lots of waste. It's not clogging. Doesn't have you, all laid out with the itis, that you feel energized. If we slow down and we start to listen, you can feel an into it, right? The doctor should not be the more of an expert on your body than you. Now, they're there to patch you up a lot of times after we've trashed the body, but there's not that much vitamins and prayer in the world to bring us back from just totally trashing our body year after year after year. One green drink or just, one vitamin pill, that's deception. So there's no shortage of companies that are willing to sell us deception and to keep us on the whole stroll, because we are also participating. So how do I transition without debating my mother? I live with her and my 2 children. Do I just let the foundation? You got that right. My thing is like, do you have, I don't know if you have whole living foods in the hood with menus to fit your budget, because I talk about, hopefully it can shorten your learning curve. I tell you, I try to give folks a shortcut right into the whole process, because it's a mindset. I was heavily addicted to junk food. So there's several strategies that I have. And also I lay out several strategies also if you're a mom, right? I'm sensitive to folks that may be on a spending plan or a budget, or that may be a mom, because if you just come in and take away all the oil, all the salt, and take away everything, you're going to have a mutiny on your hands. So there's several strategies that I use. I can tell you one right now. I am the person that comes bearing gifts. And I did put a link for natural beauty, products and whole living foods in the hood in there. I come bearing gifts. I give you an example. When I go up to the schoolhouse, I am known to feed the security guard, bring goodies and treats for the security guard, the women in the office, and definitely my son's teachers. I always come with gifts. When it's a cake sale, bake sale, I bring stuff. I make sure they're taken care of because I know they're dealing with all these children. They're stressed out. Sometimes teachers don't even leave their room to make sure they're eating properly. So I'm like, how the heck are they supposed to teach these children and deal with all these personalities, plus constant new mandates coming down to come in and change their whole teaching style? What do they have to look forward to? So no, I come bearing gifts. You go into your mom, and that may sometimes be the best child care that you have that you can trust. You make sure that people are taken care of. Everybody eats fruit platters. There was a time where I would, instead of Captain Crunch, I would go to the food co-op and I would bring Gorilla Munch, fruit juice sweetened lollipops. So there's a spectrum, but I would come bearing gifts. And usually what I would hear was people asking me for more. See, you're a woman, you're a mother. We are strategists. Sometimes we're not using our innate gifts, right? A strategy. Either I'm going on their team, which will leave, already half of my thyroid is gone. I gain weight very easily. So I can either join the rest of my family members and even me eating healthy, it's no guarantee that something can't happen to me. I prefer, though, to be in integrity with myself, and I'll be okay and at peace with myself, knowing that I did everything possible. So lots of mastectomies, amputations, insulin. I don't like needles. I'm scared of needles. So either I can go on their team or they can come on my team. So I'm not forcing people, doesn't work. So I have taken the time. I even went to culinary school so I could learn how to. I got a good hand with seasoning. I wanted to learn how to present the food in a way that was very attractive, to folks. So I externed one of the top restaurants in New York. But even while I was there, I was like, this is not the food for my folks. Because many of us would eat poo-poo if we put red sauce on it. So presenting the food properly, learning the art of balance, flavor balancing, right? Because if you can make meat and animal flesh and not down anybody if that's what you do, because I used to do that. If you can make that taste good, you can make anything taste good. Most of it is just cooked with salt and fat, served with cooked fruit, which is very sweet on top of it to make it taste good. Most of us are not biting into raw flesh. So if we could learn to prepare that, we can learn to prepare fruits and vegetables, which have more sweetness and different textures in them. And there's enough information we can learn how to consume plant-based, should you so choose, right? Because everybody is on their own journey. There's so much information. You can do it without having all the fake meats, which are high in omega-6s, which is not good. You can do that with unprocessed foods. You really, really can. Like, I'm amazed at all the things I didn't know that you can eat living. Some people say raw. I like to say living, right? Because the way we're identifying the food, all of this makes a big difference in your mindset and having a paradigm shift, right? It's the paradigm shift, how you're approaching it. Same thing, how I approach. Well, I like to think about that. We can think plant-based, perhaps try emphasize. How about this? Eating the most water-rich, because most of our bodies are what? Water. Water-rich, nutrient-dense, fiber-filled, antioxidant-rich, colorful, full of life force, full of vitality, non-clogging. You see? Different approach. So that's my litmus test, right? Can my cells recognize this as whole food? And I was a pretty greedy individual, right? I still love to eat. Can my cells recognize this as food, or is it only a party in my mouth? I had to tell the truth to myself, because every time I follow the group, that's when my face is. Go scroll through the community section, look at all that cystic acne and my face looking like just stuff popping out of my face. My face looking like the sidewalk. So every time I followed everybody else, every time I went with my addicted tongue, that's what I was getting. And I'm intelligent enough to know if that's what's happening on the outside, then obviously my liver and my organs are being taxed, right? It's not just the skin, then my organs are being taxed. That sounds more stress-free, and I can't stand labels. I get right. The labels can have us be very, very divisive. These are the meat eaters. These are the vegans. These are the keto, and it's also so much information you could be overwhelmed. So whatever label you want to put on yourself, can we not all acknowledge that everyone can benefit from more fresh, whole, living, unprocessed foods? That's the fastest food available. When we talk about fast food, you eat it, chew it thoroughly, your body absorbs the nutrition and passes out the waste easily with more than enough fiber. See, if you could just change the channel, make this real simple, make it approachable. It should not have to be, eating healthy and moving should not be inaccessible. You don't need a gym. I've trained some of the top gyms. I've competed in fitness. I never needed a gym. Never, ever, 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 ever. And I remember it was one point, after I was competing, my client said, well, you look like this because you work in a gym. And I was like, in that moment, I was like, I'm not touching it. I never touched another machine. No machines. You don't need it. If we're not safely challenging the body, then our muscles will atrophy and you won't have active tissue in your body. You will have a lower metabolism. It's simple. It's simple. It's simple. So it's a paradigm shift. It's retraining your eyes. And it's actually at the same time, it's simple. This hair is so simple. This is freedom. This is relaxation. I could also cut it off at the drop of a dime. So I have options now. I've taken a lot off of the table. And by the way, it's almost dry. Me just sitting here. That's from not having oil. So it's less I have to do. And I love the look. So one of my acquaintances, she really works her hair and she works her weave. It actually looks gorgeous on her. It looks really, really gorgeous. So it's up to you to decide what you want your aesthetic. I like a simple, classic, chic aesthetic. I enjoy, and I plan to continue to enjoy the seasoning process, the maturity process, the aging process. That's a conscious decision to enjoy aging. Think about it. How many of you are enjoying the aging process? Enjoying being present in your body temple? If there's an undercurrent and a back dialogue of I hate my body, I hate, and I'm running, how do you think that the cells are responding? It's what's the name of this book? Your Body Keeps Score. Most of our waking behaviors are driven by the subconscious. So the body's always listening. The cells, we're 1 trillion cells that are living and communicating with each other. When we're sad, when we're upset, it responds. It's responding. And if we feel that also, we're likely going to medicate with either food, some kind of substance. I do feel stress-free since I have stopped twisting thanks to your challenge. Oh, you're so welcome. I say, what do you have to lose but extra waist from here, from the waistline? Just try it on. So you could always cut it off, but just to stress-free. I remember constantly going to the beauty supply store. It's a state of mind. It's anxiety. I got to do this. I got to get this. To look good for who? That's why I say health and confidence over beauty. You have a personal movement practice. You get that dopamine rush from inside, from feel-good, positive chemicals in your body. That's a state of mind. You feel like an athlete. You feel like a champion. That's different. It's different than makeup. If I have a choice between the two, which I do, I'll take a fit, trim body, also a great attitude. Your movement practice is going to give you a great attitude. And it comes before your children. To keep thinking that we're going to keep nourishing children without taking care of ourselves, that's not sustainable. I'm just one woman's perspective as a mother. That's not sustainable. It crashes and burns. And when the children get older, they tell you, why wasn't you taking care of yourself? You're doing them a favor when you let off steam and you take care of your mental health and your physical health. We're going to be kind of like a meanie, and not when we don't feel good, we're not taking care of ourselves. So if we're not taking care of ourselves, eventually you're going to drop some balls. So it's a priority to take care of ourselves. When you're on the aircraft, they tell you to put the oxygen mask on yourself first. You'll never make it down to the opposite end of the aircraft to get your children. That model doesn't work. It don't work. It's played out. It's old. It's tired. Ineffective. It never worked. It never worked. That boasting about being a mule, I don't know about you, but y'all can keep it. Y'all can keep it. Superwoman has left the building. I'm not taking that. I'm not taking it. I could use some help. At the same time, I've made a choice to be responsible. When you make a choice to be responsible for your health, for example, if you're investing in your movement practice on a regular basis, and you're feeding yourself the best foods, and you're paying sometimes a little bit more for that organic, for those blackberries, or man, these berries are expensive, but you know what? I'd rather eat this than eat those barbecue potato chips. That's a state of mind. So when you put all that into yourself and your skin starts going changing, you're not so likely to let anybody and anything into your orifices, into this, into this, into this, into your yoni. You're not as likely when you're putting all of that investment, because you're squandering your investment. You're not so likely to put, at some point you got to say like, wow, I spent all this money on organic foods. Sheesh, I'm kind of undoing it if I'm smoking and I'm drying my skin out. I've watched one of my clients totally dry and age her skin. It doesn't make her bad or a wrong person. Through alcohol dried out her skin. And I've seen some people where smoking has dried out their skin. So why not preserve what we've got? And why not imbibe the body, douse the body with joy, vigorous, joyous movement, vigorous, joyous movement, and not making bad or wrong. The fact that sometimes there's so many of us, just shaking our butt for strangers. It just says, it doesn't make us bad or wrong. We're looking and seeking validation, right? This is stuff that's primal. We're seeking validation from strangers. Quite often, if we really think about it, in an unsafe environment, it contributes to a whole climate. I could tell you this. I can catch myself saying, wow, I missed my yoga practice. I can't wait to go do yoga. And if you don't have a personal movement practice, you won't. It's something to be experienced when you miss that good quality time with yourself. The stretching sometimes is so uncomfortable, but the sense of rest and peace, and starting to notice how your mind is jumping all over the place. Yoga or union, that when you start to notice your breath as a habit, if that's a regular practice, and slowing down and stretching, it brings you more present into your body. This is why I'm so big on just encouraging these lifestyle practices. Lifestyle practices, your personal movement practice, whatever ratio. If you want to do more stretching or cardio or strength, we need a combination of all three of them, right? We need cardio for the heart. We need strength training for strong bones. If you want to see any kind of tone, right? That's strength training, with or without weights. And then we also need the flexibility. If you are tight in your body, then it's likely you'll be tight also in your mind, right? So it's not just the skin and the muscles. That's a benefit, but it's primarily because of how it makes you feel. Just taking a lot off the table, worrying about hair, it's primarily because of how it's making me feel. It's primarily because of how it's making me feel. I'm tired of spending money on crazy things, transitioning to having less. And you can have less and have the best and have what you really enjoy. Have you ever gone out and bought, back in the day, you saw a nice shirt and you bought every color of the shirt? Later on, you wind up throwing all of those shirts in the garbage, right? And you can see we just don't need so much stuff. It's like we become prisoners in our homes that become storage boxes with all of this stuff. I prioritize. I actually feel kind of a little closed in and claustrophobic with too much stuff. I love space in my body, space to move and to play, less to clean so I can breathe. I need some space. I need some room. I need my scalp to breathe. I need my skin to breathe. It's just like a feeling like plastic. I need my brain to breathe. Sometimes when you turn off all this extra, and some of the folks, by the way, if any of you folks are interested, I'm going to be opening up coaching for folks. There's ongoing coaching. So there are folks that have done the 3 and 7 day, the 3-day nutritional fast and 7-day nutritional reset. So that is all whole, fresh, living, unprocessed foods. If there's going to be any processing, you do it yourself. And if folks are interested, you're welcome to reach out to me at Body-Culinary@gmail.com. So when we're doing some coaching that is not going to be on YouTube, so it's more of an intimate space and more of a safe space, and I need to identify any of the folks that are in there. So if folks are interested in ongoing coaching, life coaching, that's going to include going over your fitness, your goals, and really focusing on results. We're not just going to be talking and intellectualizing. We're actually coming together around an activity. I like to come together around an activity, because if you're getting into action, you should be getting different results. If we're just sitting and blah, 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 then we're not going to get any kind of results. And I like to get into action. So you're welcome to contact me if you're interested in coaching. I was looking to see if I was going to separate it from the younger generations, from the older generations and younger women. But maybe perhaps I will just keep it all together. So reach out to me at body-culinary.com for coaching. So yeah, that's because I'm just watching. I love transformation. And I love holding space for folks' transformation. And to just watch the light bulbs going off for people is fascinating. It's fascinating. People think, you think I can really lose weight? I don't call it lose weight. I call it releasing weight. If we're holding on to a lot of waste and weight, that's a state of mind. A lot of times we don't believe certain things are possible. So I'm here to provide my about 30 years of experience in food as a chef, and fitness, and holding space for folks. So men can reach out too. However, I'm seeing how they can be incorporated perhaps in another room. So it's definitely open to women of all ages. You need to be 18 years or older. If someone is 16, then they need to come with their parent, because I do understand that there are some younger women that have reached out to me interested in coaching or apprenticing. So it's going to be coaching. And you have to be 18 years or older, or to be sponsored by a parent or a guardian for coaching. So again, it's coming together. And those lifestyle practices are definitely par for the course. So we're learning about nutrition. It's hands-on nutrition. We'll be talking about some of the recipes that are in the 7-day nutritional reset. That's still available if folks want to join, and that's also monthly ongoing coaching. So the 3 and 7-day nutritional reset, that is, you get your menu, and it's living foods. I do give some recipes that are still whole foods, and you can make some treats for yourself, but there's not any oil, there's not any sugar, there's not any honey, it's not agave, but there's a lot of flavor, and a lot of people were shocked at the simplicity, and it's no powders and it's no pills. So you'd be amazed at what you could do with whole, fresh, living foods. And we're going to be answering a lot of questions and making a lot of distinctions. So feel free to reach out to me if you're interested in coaching, if you have a daughter or someone that you would like who could use some support, right? When it comes to, because let's be honest, when we're dealing with the skin and we're not feeling about ourselves, we're dealing with acne and carrying extra adipose tissue, right? That's the only weight we ever want to lose, is unhealthy or release unhealthy additional adipose tissue. We never want to lose muscle though, right? We never want to lose bone, right? So a lot of times we're not making these distinctions. So a lot of these distinction light bulbs are going off inside the coaching, and that is on another platform that is private, right? So reach out to me at body-culinary.com and let me know, have you tried water washing? Now, I do think water washing is going to be different if you have oil in your hair, because the oil can have a tendency to hold scents and odor and just create a film inside the hair. So again, it's drying quickly, and I can do the water because there's nothing inside of it. And occasionally I will use a gentle shampoo, but most of what I'm using is right from the yard. The aloe, the nopales, the sage, sorrel/hibiscus, mint. I'm using all the jasmine tea, which is my favorite, and I've looked for alternatives to rose water until I can grow my own roses. So I envision a time where most of what we need to luxuriate, we're able to pull it from our yard. So we already got shea butter down, and there are more women making natural products. I think we can get it even down a little bit simpler, because again, if you take a lot of stuff off the table, if you don't stuff masquerading as food into your body, you don't have to work like crazy to get it off. If we don't clog the hair and the scalp with a whole bunch of oils, butters, and things, and this is an option, might be a little different for you if you're loose natural, right? But with this, carefree, and for me, that's the big reason for this hair, is to remove stress. That is a priority for me, is relaxation and feeling really, really comfortable in my body. And I want to enjoy the aging process. I'm not gonna let nobody shame me into, not enjoying my wisdom and my life lessons learned. You know what I'm saying? So health and confidence over here in this corner, on this little teeny corner of the universe on this internet. Health and confidence over beauty. When you feel healthy, when you're in integrity with yourself, when you're not putting yourself in harm's way, your purse, your panties, your pocketbook, your private parts in harm's way. When you're younger, it might seem like, oh, I'm missing out. What are they calling now? FOMO. You ain't missing nothing but some diseases, some unplanned human beings being brought here and contributing to breeding some narcissists. But if we're really honest, a lot of us could use support, in our 20s and our teens and our late teens. So support for me can't come at the expense of me. So I'm not here. I'm not a martyr. I'm not your healer. I can assist you and hold space for you as you heal yourself. Your body knows how to heal itself when you just stop stuffing it with crap. I like to keep it real simple and free up a lot of time for us when we do come together to come together around an activity where we're actually going to do something, right? Rather than just sitting and going like this. We got a lot to do. And there's a lot of fun to be had. There's a lot to do. So I just wanted to come in and touch in and say that, this is just water and it feels soft and moist. It's like, this is amazing. I'm like, and I put all of those years, all of those bottles of conditioner. I wish I had known earlier about whole, fresh, living foods and I could leave my hair alone. I say let your daughter's hair, but let her grow down to the ground so she can experience that natural vanity and ease. We need to feel ease. We deserve to feel some ease. We deserve to feel comfortable in our bodies, right? Natural bodies matter. Natural bodies matter. That's what I say. Natural bodies matter. We deserve to feel comfortable in our own divinely assigned hair and skin. Let me know what you think. Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel relaxed? What do you think? Do you think that we really feel, maybe some of us do, I don't know. But I know for me, I felt a letdown sometimes even after mascara, but that's just my experience, right? But to put on a whole bunch of paint, first of all, I found it uncomfortable, cumbersome, and then felt let down because I felt like, wow, I had to take off that whole shell and it wasn't really even me. So I want to play. I like to have a lot of fun. I want to feel free in my body to run, jump, play, and I'm interested in just preserving what I've got. Understanding at some point the body will age. I want to enjoy this human suit that I've been gifted with. I like to enjoy myself and have fun, and we want to be pain-free and full of energy in order to enjoy our bodies, right? That's why I call this freedom here. That's what I'm calling it, right? Because we deserve to be relaxed and free in our own hair and skin. Y'all let me know what you think. Do you feel free? Do you feel relaxed in your hair and skin? Do you feel like you have a whole long process? What would it feel like if we didn't have mirrors and you could just get up and go? And I'd rather take care of my body so I don't have to put on 20 tons of suffocation and I can relax. Now, I have the option to play if I want to, because y'all might see me in a little photo shoot in a minute, but I just really enjoy my own hair and skin, and it has been very, very intentional. I'm feeling more uncomfortable in my own body now. It took me during COVID to really love and accept myself. Hey, I know that's right. So y'all check out the links that I put in the chat. There's raw vegan cakes, that workshop. I put the link there. I put the link to natural beauty, no products, love your own hair and skin. So you can see I really do put food. I put food on my face and my hair and skin. That's what helped me clear up all of that acne. And then there's also whole living foods in the hood with menus to fit your budget. So I get it. That if we take 110% responsibility for our life, I think that's our best bet. I think that's our best bet, is to just wrap our mind around it and take 110% responsibility for our health and not be expecting to get a fresh, brand new body in the afterlife when we didn't take care of this one. That's deception. That's a crock of crap. I mean, who are we kidding? If you want a vital body, pain-free, then you've got to invest in it. That's a movement practice. If you eat a whole bunch of healthy food, it needs to move. That good nutrition needs to move around in your body and be circulated. That can't happen, right? If you don't have a movement practice. It's just I didn't make up the rules. So I'm inviting you all to create a great day on purpose. If you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so at body-culinary@gmail.com. If you have any kind of questions, if you're interested in the life coaching, and keep in mind that I like to focus around coming together around an activity. So some of the folks in coaching, we have group coaching. If you have some more pressing concerns with your health, I'm not a medical doctor. I can definitely guide you when it comes to food and movement practice. So if you have more pressing concerns, feel free to email me and you can set up a time to meet. So y'all create a great day on purpose, a great rest of the evening, and I will see y'all soon. What is somebody saying over here? Okay, then Ashe. I know that's right. Depends on how much your program is. I'd love to be an apprentice of yours. I've thought about that. So I've made the group coaching so that that is accessible to everyone. I'd recommend anyone that does group coaching definitely get the book. So that's going to answer a lot of the guide, Whole Living Foods in the Hood with menus to fit your budget. That's already going to answer a lot of questions for you and show you a lot of pictures. So you could go, there's like budgets in there with different sample shops, whether you need to shop for $5, $10, $20, $50, or $200. I give you an idea of what I'm shopping for and what I'm preparing. So there's a lot. I thought of all the questions that I would have liked somebody to answer for me, and I put a lot of that in the book. And the group coaching, again, I made that so that whatever your age, that it will be accessible to folks. So apprenticing, perhaps we can talk about that, but you may want to do group coaching as far as apprenticing. So reach out to me, and I look forward to seeing you all really soon. Enjoy the rest of your evening.